is an organization that is for all people. Thank you.
Uh, could we, is there quickly that someone else want to make a spiel about giving? I know we're at time for our campaign coordinating committee. So,
I
but
think
if
Susie
there's
Reese,
someone,
I think
okay,
Susie Reese was going to say something
Suze,
briefly.
okay,
I,
Suze,
I don't have a whole lot to add to what Reverend Wiggins and Paulette have said, but I too want to invest in NOAA, and I want to encourage everybody to consider giving a monthly gift because that way we can, if we pledge and the group knows that the money will be coming, they can budget it, and it can make us all stronger, and we can, you know, portion it out and give a little bit, or a lot every month. And so I recommend that you consider giving monthly, whether you give a little bit or a lot. And of course, it's preferred that you give a lot, but your choice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Reverend Sephora, and all those of you who've shared, and you touched our hearts and inspired us, and we hope we'll see that inspiration in giving for our fall campaign.
Reverend Lester, if people are on our email list, they should have received an email today explaining all about the fundraising campaign and why we're doing it this way.
Okay, let me now call on our campaign coordinating committee, Ron Hetty and Regina Davis, to share with us. We're in your hands.
Mute myself. Good evening, everybody. I'm Ron Hetty. I am co-chair with Regina Davis of the Campaign Coordinating Committee, and we are happy tonight to take our second deep dive into the organization called NOAA and look at why we do what we do and how we do it. Just as a little bit of refresher, we started this in August with a deep dive when we asked people if it was a good thing to do this kind of deep dive into the background of NOAA, because one of the things that came out of our 2020 annual meeting was that our members expressed a desire for additional clarity about just how NOAA works. And while everyone here is certainly committed to our mission of social justice, not everybody's particularly familiar with the organizational aspects of NOAA. So we took our first dive in September, and we looked at decision making in the organization, and we reviewed the fact that decisions are made at several different levels and among several different groups. What we want to look at tonight is a little bit about how we go about making those decisions. So we're going to be looking at what is it that guides the organization? What does that look like when we actually apply those decisions and carry them out? And we're going to end up with something that's already been brought up tonight. What holds this whole thing together? I know that everybody is familiar with our credo. This appears on almost every piece of documentation that NOAA shares with the public. But if we just take a second to review that, it is one of our most important statements, and that's why it is repeated so often. But it's not the only piece of documentation that we have. As Bill Howell so clearly affirmed earlier this evening, NOAA truly is a professional nonprofit organization. So we have a number of documents that support our obligations with the financial and legal requirements of a licensed nonprofit. And those are things like the bylaws, which everyone can access on the website. We have also our job description for leaders that appears every place. We have task force one-pagers. We are currently, the executive committee is reviewing the organizer job description. Another document that we're working on is a policy for working on an issue. And to follow up with something that Reverend Brown Sefor and also Paulette talked about a moment ago, we have a document called Aspirational Document. And what it does, it tries to describe verbally what NOAA hopes to be when it is a fully fledged, mature organization, because as others have already commented, we are still growing. And as we grow, it is important for us to continue to make the adjustments that are consistent with an organization that's growing and improving and getting better, as NOAA is. So this is one of the paragraphs from the aspirational document, and I've highlighted some things that we think are particularly important about what NOAA is and what it does. NOAA confronts important justice issues, not as a charity organization, but as a coalition that focuses on the systemic root causes of injustices and challenges elected officials, businesses, and the belief systems that have been used to oppress people in our society. We know that action is the lifeblood and oxygen of our organization, and we take action on justice issues in large public meetings, demonstrations, smaller research meetings, one-on-one meetings, and individual contacts with decision makers. NOAA challenges the system and acts as the community's conscience, not afraid to take a stand for what is right, or to face the reproach and resistance that too often accompany such actions. We hope that this description continues to apply to NOAA as it grows and leverages even more power in our community, and as one of our subcommittees has already begun to demonstrate, in our state as well. So I'm going to take a minute and go through some of those bolded statements. NOAA confronts important justice issues, and each of our task forces has, first of all, the kind of justice issues that it undertakes and what it's actually doing right now in active form. So the Criminal Justice Committee, the Criminal Justice Task Force, continues to work with the development and growth of the Community Oversight Board, has done a lot of work with a partner response with the police department, and is now tackling cash bail. Another important justice issue, the Affordable Housing Task Force is consistently concerned about access to housing and affordable residences. And the rest of these I don't have to read, but you can see each one is set up so that as you see what the justice issues are that the task force has in its sights, you can then see some of the specific actions that it is taking, always in line with this goal of, as Dr. Coleman described, being able to create a city where all of our brothers and sisters can thrive. Finally, economic equity and jobs. And I am not ignoring or trying to in any way disparage IVE and our adult youth, our young adult caucus, but they have not worked as long and as hard with these issues as the task forces have. We also know that NOAA focuses on systemic root causes of injustices, primarily racism. It's important to realize that NOAA focuses on the big picture rather than responding to every individual event. And this is something that people sometimes ask, well, why didn't NOAA do anything about X? Well, we can't respond to every single thing. So we have our guidelines and we know what it is we're headed for. It's also important to realize that we are an advocacy organization and we are organized around advocacy rather than direct service. All of our members take action in a more direct service way, but we are advocates and we take those kinds of positions in our community. It's also essential to remember that we focus on underserved and underrepresented segments of our community rather than becoming involved in abstract theoretical concepts We don't take stands on trickle-down economics, and we don't get caught up in national and international issues. Another phrase from our aspirational document, NOAA takes action on justice issues. And here we have illustrations of places where we have already taken such action. We take action in demonstrations, press conferences, such as this one with Dawana Wade, appearances. We are speakers at various board meetings, especially recently MNPS board meetings, council meetings, neighborhood and district events. We take action on justice issues in smaller research meetings, education task force meetings with the board and administrators, criminal justice meetings with police, with judges, with city legal. We take action in one-on-one and individual contacts with decision makers. And finally, NOAA does, and we hope that it will continue always to act as the community's conscience, again, as illustrated in these examples. So here we come to an issue that has come up tonight. How do we continue to do this work? Our funding model in the past, up to this point, has been a combination of hard money and soft money. So a third of the budget from member dues, a third from fundraisers and individuals, and a third from grants. Our established practice has been to create ad hoc fundraising committees, and they have in the past sponsored the May Banquet, where we generated money from ads in an ad book and from contributions and from ticket sales, although a lot of that money was immediately spent in food and venue costs. And a November reception where we generated funds from contributions for matching grants. As has already been explained tonight, COVID kept us from holding the May Banquet and the November reception in the past 2 years. Last year, the end of the year non-event simply asked people to donate as an investment. Again, as Reverend Brown-Sefor explained so clearly earlier, investing in NOAA, and it was a successful plea. We raised almost $50,000. And as Reverend Brown-Sefor and Dr. Coleman and Reverend Wiggins explained, we are doing the same thing again this year. By our bylaws, we have a finance chair who is a member of the executive committee, and he monitors, or she monitors, the financial accounts of the organization, and has up to this point created those ad hoc fundraising committees, which operate as they're needed and then they disband. And we have a treasurer who keeps full and correct account of all of the financial transactions. That person actually handles the money. Where we've come to, and again, appreciated Bill Howell's comments at the beginning of the evening, how important it is for NOAA to continue in its professional growth. These things that we have done up to this point have worked, they have been successful, and they have, we expect that they will continue to be, but we don't have specific and explicit documentation about those financial and accounting procedures. This is important for both our professional image and for legal reasons, and also to facilitate transitions. We have had a treasurer who has done an outstanding job, continues to do an outstanding job, but someday Bill Howell may need to be handing those reins over to someone else, and clearer documentation will help that transition move more smoothly. So we're asking tonight, you as members, and Kim has prepared for us a Google poll. You can vote right now. Do you support the executive committees generating this kind of documentation, either by amending the bylaws or by creating a set of financial documents that clearly articulate our financial proceedings? And you can vote right now. You see it there on your screen, and we will communicate your wishes to our executive committee. That's looking good. Keep voting, keep voting. You remember, you can do it. And you can continue voting for another few minutes, but that is the end of my presentation. Regina and I want to say thank you for this time. We want to say that coming up soon, we will do a deep dive into action, taking action, the characteristics of successful action, and maybe do a little training on some aspects of that lifeblood of our organization. And we want to end the night by saying we hope that everyone has a happy holiday season. Thank you very much.
Ron, let me thank you and Regina for having shared with us and encourage everybody to complete the financial procedure poll. And let me now call on Kim Lanier to give us direction as we prepare to do our breakout sessions. Kim, we're in your hands.
Sure. So I'm going to open up the breakout rooms now. And the options were based on our task forces and our committees or member our committees. So we have economic equity, education, criminal justice, and affordable housing. Opening that up now. Are you all seeing the options there?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Kim, this is Avi Poster. I had requested to go to criminal justice instead of affordable housing.
Okay.
One reason that we ask people to sign up ahead of time is so that we'll know what breakout
Yeah,
group to send you
Mike, I
into.
did sign up, but then
I'm not,
today-
I wasn't speaking to you, Avi.
Oh,
I was
all
just trying to help everybody understand.
okay,
You know, Kim is trying to put you into those rooms that were requested earlier. But when people sign up at the last minute, she won't have that information ready.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Whew.
Okay, many of you should see a little white box pop up that says join breakout room. You're being invited to join a particular breakout room.
Nope.
No, I just see at the top.
I
it
don't
says the
see me.
host
I
has
thought I
opened
signed up
breakout.
early. Yeah, I thought I signed up early, but I don't see me.
Yeah, I registered as well. It says the host has opened breakout rooms at the top, and it says please wait to be assigned.
Okay. It's showing it here on my end. Okay. I'm sorry if it's.
I know where many of you should go, so I'm going to send Irene Boyd to affordable housing.
I'm going to start moving you guys if you have it.
Gregory Price to affordable housing.
All right, I'll send you there.
Me too, Mike.
All right.
Me too, Mike.
All right, now wait a minute. I got to know which Me Too that was.
Arlene,
Shannon.
affordable housing. Martha Carroll.
Yeah, okay. Y'all are just all so hard to deal with. Golly.
Thank you for doing
I
this.
saw it pop up, but it went away.
That happens.
I don't see mine either.
All right. Rutherford, you going to IVE, I assume? On Chris Hornsby. All right, I see that. Stacy Harwell Dye, you want to go to affordable housing or where?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Benny Overton,
Yes.
Where would you like to go?
Affordable housing.
Okay. Yvonne Sanders,
Criminal justice.
Ronnie McGregory,
Criminal justice.
Hey, Bill Howell,
Education.
Tasha Heiler,
Affordable housing.
all right. Amber Hale,
Criminal justice.
Evangeline Watanabe,
Affordable housing, please.
Mariel Bullock Neal,
Reverend Lester,
Nancy Kolowick.
Affordable housing.
That's what I thought. Okay. Kenny Lickstein, are you affordable housing today?
I am.
All right, thank you.
Mary
And-
Ellen Hall, Reverend Lester,
Education.
Okay, we got a phone number there. Is that you, David? David Metter? Or whoever it's on the phone, we just have one person, but whoever you are, I can send you to a task force meeting. But you've got to tell me which one. Okay. Says all these folks have been
Let's put
assigned.
down the criminal justice.
Muriel?
Yes, I'm always in that one.
All right, I just couldn't remember for sure.
I'll be right back.
All right, it says everybody's assigned, but
No, Mike, you don't have me assigned yet. I'm waiting for criminal justice.
we actually do have you assigned, you just didn't accept it.
No, it said affordable housing.
Oh, okay. Give me a second. Okay, there you go, Avi.
Okay,
Okay,
Did you, I guess you can't see it on your end, Mike, whether or not the people see the buttons, the option.
yeah, there's no way to know whether they see the button or not.
Because from my end, it had a list of unassigned people, because I did upload the list at around like 6 o'clock or 5:30.
Right, sure.
So,
Well, we just got to keep experimenting with it. I don't know. It seemed like it was more people that had trouble this time, but I've also had lots of people have trouble before. I mean, it's not, it's
okay.
not unusual, unfortunately. I think Kay Bowers just came in too, I think.
Yes, I just admitted her, and I guess she already went to her.
There she is.
Okay.
She should go to affordable housing.
But I don't see her in the breakout room box. Let's see.
I don't either.
Put in waiting. No, it's not right. Okay. Trying to assign you to the affordable housing.
Oh, I am on it on my phone. My computer was wacko, so I had to get off. But I am in it on my phone.
Okay, so maybe that's why there's the same account, or is it two different accounts? I think
Same
it's only-
account.
So maybe that's why you can't.
Okay, I think I've done this before. Kay, I'm going to put you in education for just a second, and then I'm going to move you back to affordable housing. That's the only way I've
Okay.
been able to figure out to do this. So go ahead and accept that.
Okay.
Okay, I think I got her.
Okay, I'm going to join education.
All righty. I don't know who this is on the phone, but if you'll tell me where you want to go, I can put you in another breakout room with one of the task forces. Okay.
Hello, Grace. What meeting room would you like to be put in? Hello?
Hi, this is Mike. Came to try to get Grace into a breakout room. I saw she entered.
I think she's muted. Grace, will you unmute?
You want to go to the housing breakout, Grace? I think Grace has been having trouble. She's entered and left several times. Well, I'm going to go back to affordable housing because I think they need me to
Okay.
share a screen or something.
Okay, it's not working. Can you hear me?
I can. Let me see if I can get you. Which
My-
room would you like to be in?
Yes, I was in affordable housing and my internet just keeps cutting out on me.
I just put you in affordable housing.
I can't even get back to, yeah. Okay.
Do you see, did it button
Yeah.
pop up? Okay, great. Hi, Mia. What breakout session would you like to be in? Mia?
Hello?
Hi. What breakout session would you like to be in?
It doesn't matter since I'm late, just whichever one you can put me in will be great.
Okay. I just put you in economic equity and jobs.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, as we come back together, let's now prepare to hear special reports for each of our task forces and our working committees. Each committee will have 3 minutes, and let's begin with affordable housing.
Shirley, would you like to do this or would you like for me? Okay. Well, affordable housing covered 3 topics. We gave an update on, a brief update on next steps with the mayor's office following his commitments that he made at the public meeting. Our task force, particularly, especially Martha Carroll, has been heavily involved in the redevelopment and displacement of tenants in an apartment project in East Nashville called River Chase. And the developer has made significant commitments to helping people that are being displaced through the work of housing navigators and funding resources. And he's also made commitments to include, I think, 200 plus units of affordable housing in the new apartments that will be going up. Am I right on that, Martha? Okay. And then the second, the next topic we covered was to let people know that Metro Human Relations Commission has a report out on the results or outcomes of a public hearing that was held in September on evictions in Nashville, where the challenges are and what are recommendations that can be made and implemented to improve things moving forward. And we do know that considerable money has been spent and there's more money that will come to Metro Action Commission to help prevent people from losing their housing. But there's a lot of work to be done. There are significant problems in the process, in the application, in really the user friendliness or lack thereof of the whole application process. And we think there are ways to improve, but it's listed in the report. And so we talked a little bit about that.
Okay, thank you very much. Criminal justice.
There, okay, I'm unmuted. We had several new people. We actually had, see, I'm counting, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 new people, which is exciting. Of course, we have our new organizer, Eugene Sabray, or EJ. We also have Amber Hale, who's from the YWCA. We also have Ronnie McGregory, who is the new Covenant person that's trying to fill some shoes that Teresa Smallwood used to take care of over at New Covenant Christian Church. We have Chris Hornsby from St. Bartholomew's Episcopal Church. So we're excited about all these new people and their exposure, experience within and without and surrounding the criminal justice system. Some have had personal experiences with that. Some have had family members. So it's a close experience for some of these people. And that's why they're sort of drawn to the criminal justice task force. We wanted to celebrate, to some extent, the overturning of a death sentence that had been laid upon one of our brothers, Abu Ali Rahman, who is no longer going to be on death row. He has had his sentence commuted to life imprisonment, which for many of us is a prayer answered. I know Abu was hoping for an exoneration and complete ability to gain his freedom. This is not everything he had wanted for, but this at least takes him off death row and allows him to continue the wonderful ministry that he's doing in the prison system itself. And hopefully Abu can join us sometime and talk with us in our our task force meetings now that he has a few more freedoms. So that's one of the good things that's happened in the last month since we've met. We also had a discussion about Gideon's Army, which has had some difficult times and some changes in personnel. One of our task force members personally experienced some of the news about that. So we're sad to hear that. That's about what we had time to cover because we had so many things to talk about. But those are some of the major points that we did discuss. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Economic equity and jobs.
Yes, hi, this is Ethan Link with the Laborers Union. I'll just add that we had as Marley Albert would say, we had a small but mighty group at Economic and Equity. We talked about two things, the public meeting about the community benefit agreement on the Nashville Soccer Stadium, some of the questions that came up around that, particularly around part-time jobs and the potential to try to coordinate those different venues around town to make those part-time jobs full-time equivalent jobs as a potential goal of our committee. We also talked about the importance of the living wage campaign that's just really been launched in public that a lot of people here have known forever about. Amy just shared, I believe, a link in the chat. And we talked about how important it is to reach out and try to get folks to apply to be living wage recognized and certified employers. We have a deadline of before Thanksgiving for them to apply to be living wage employers. And so if you see in the chat, Amy dropped that in there. Of course, everyone should want to get their church and congregation and a union and community group affiliated with this important campaign. And so, Amy, I would ask, do you have anything else you'd like to add on that?
I'll just add, yes, please share widely. We're hoping to certify a base of 10 to 20 employers to be founding members of Nashville Living Wage to be announced in January of 2022. So please send this link out. Next week is International Living Wage Week. So you can use that as an opportunity to reach out far and wide and invite your favorite coffee shop or veterinarian to apply, or your own church congregation member organization. And if you want to stay up to date on Nashville Living Wage and you're not on EE&J's task force, feel free to follow us on Facebook, and I will put that link there too. There's some information about Living Wage Week on our Facebook page. And you can always reach out to me directly if you have questions. And I respond to the info@Nashville Living Wage email address, which is on our website. Thank you.
Thank you. And please do keep Sister Marley in your prayers as she had a death in the family. So thank you all. And sorry if our report is brief on my account.
Okay, thank you. Education.
Okay. A lot of our attention right at this moment in the Education Task Force is focused on the state review of education funding statewide. The old funding formula, the current actually funding formula, is the BEP, Basic Education Plan. And the governor and the Department of Education have now 18 committees looking at how that might need to be redone. There's been lots of chatter about this for years, but at the moment it's actually happening. A lovely letter that I did not participate in writing, but that was really a good letter signed by our own Reverend Thompson and the presidents of both Micah in Memphis and Caleb in Chattanooga. Went out today to Peggy Schwinn, the Commissioner of Education, the chair of each one of those 18 committees. And I'm not sure if it went to some state legislators. But anyway, great letter went out today. And some people have testified at some of the town halls that they've held around the state. There was not one held in Nashville. 4 of us went to Hendersonville. But now the commissioner reached out to Jeannie Pupo Walker of Ed Trust to have one in Nashville. And she has reached out to us at NOAA to assist in that. That will be coming up December 6th. There will be an additional town hall meeting to listen to what the public thinks about funding, just so everybody is on the same page. Let me tell you that the main issue is that overall funding needs to be vastly increased. Okay, we do not need to take the same amount of funding and divvy it out in new and creative ways. The most important thing is that the funding be greatly increased statewide. So that's mostly, I'm not sure if that was coherent, but that's mostly what the Education Task Force is focused on right at the moment.
Okay, thank you. And now integrated voter engagement and recruitment.
Good evening, everybody. Our conversations basically centered around agenda topics, action plans, and goals for our upcoming steering committee retreat, which we finally have been able to settle on a date in which we're going to do that, which will be Sunday, December the 12th. So this is going to give us as a steering committee an opportunity to sort of refocus and really start setting our sights on more actual voter engagement, especially with the political landscape being as it is, elections coming up next year. This is going to be an opportunity for us to really, again, sort of shift our attention to trying to have more voter engagement and voter education. So, and ultimately turning out more voters. So once we finish up the retreat, we'll obviously have a summary of everything and sort of our plans going forward. And we'll talk more in depth about that at our next general IVE meeting. And once we plan that date, we'll get that information out to everybody and encourage many of you who have not had an opportunity to come to an IVE meeting to do so and sort of get a glimpse of the work that we'll be doing in 2022.
Fantastic. Thank you, Overton. Let me thank all of our chairs for having shared with us what their work and discussions this evening have been. We're running right on schedule. Glad to have Reverend Thompson been able to join us. And let me now invite Brian Zrelik to come and lead us in our evaluation of today's meeting, this evening's meeting. And that will be followed by closing prayer with Martha Carroll. And Irene, I see your hand.
Yeah, I'm just curious because we didn't get a full report of the Zoom meeting, but just curious how many people showed up for the Zoom meeting, for the big public meeting last month.
It was actually 416 if you count the Zoom and the Facebook. We had 16 people on Facebook and about 400 on Zoom.
So we didn't do as well as we had hoped.
We didn't do as well as we had pledged, and I'm trying to get a list to everybody of the folks from your organization that did come, so that you can see who did.
Yes,
Several organizations really did a great job of turning out. Some of the rest of us fell a little short, but that means we just need to think: how do we get deeper into our own congregations? How do we get deeper into our unions and really listen to people?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Let me thank you for having me. Let me be your chairman tonight. And Brian, we're in your hands.
Here we go. Okay, we're gonna make this short but powerful. So let's get some feeling words on kind of what this meeting did for you. Like, where are you in your heart, in your mind? And if you could put this in your in the chat, please, just a feeling word, and I will just kind of call out what we're hearing. Ron is feeling excited. I'm seeing encouraged, energized. Lynn is feeling grounded. Jane's also energized. Other people, more encouraged, reinvigorated from Arlene. Martha is hopeful. Doug is connected. Other folks, anybody, first time people. Shannon, thanks for coming on. Gregory, powerful. Gregory, it looks like you might be new. Can you tell us kind of what was powerful about this for you tonight? If you don't mind unmuting yourself.
For me, I didn't know much about NOAA and what you are trying to achieve.
Okay.
I've heard about it through my union, and I'm trying to get more involved with it with affordable housing. I'm excited about that because I was homeless once before.
Well, it's fantastic to have you. Thank you.
And what's powerful for me is the effort that you guys are putting out for our community.
Well, thank you. We look forward to you putting in effort with us and having you alongside us. So any other, I'm seeing excited, encouraged, Benny Overton, it's good to see you. Martha says, thank you. So encouraged. Okay, wonderful. Let's go ahead and dig into our how we performed tonight. This could be technical stuff. You know, it could be the agenda. In fact, let's start with the agenda. Do you think the agenda really met the needs of our organization tonight? Do you feel like what we talked about tonight, was it important? And you can just say yes or no, or give a thumbs up, or put something in the chat. We can keep this simple. And another question, I see clear, tight, helpful, well-planned, executed. Yep, worked well. Let me ask just, what was a highlight? Can anybody just throw out a highlight? What sort of hit you tonight? And someone can speak this if you want.
I'll tell you, one of the highlights for me was the presentation about, delving into how we focus and operate. I think once it's all kind of put together, it will just be a wonderful thing to take to congregations and organizations that want to try to explain what NOAA is all about.
Thank you, Irene. Yeah, we took a deep dive. I saw a lot of deep dives, a lot of thumbs up on that.
Actually, I would suggest that once you get it all pulled together, that then we just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, because I think it's very helpful.
I can imagine this living on our website as well, and directing people toward it. Okay, anything else on performance? Let's move to tension. Where did people feel tension tonight?
Time.
Me, public housing, because everything is getting out of hand with people that are uneducated and work menial jobs and things of that nature. It is like, where do we live from this point on?
Right. So sometimes the tension is just like in the issues themselves, right? Thank you for sharing that. What about other people? I know, was it Mr. Zralik? And if you would unmute yourself, please.
Unmute yourself, Jim. Can you unmute him, Brian?
I can ask him to unmute, and but we cannot hear you. You can find out if you can unmute yourself. Okay, go.
There was someone who kept walking around during the affordable housing meeting, and I don't know what, it was so distracting. Maybe he had some reason for doing that, but I don't understand.
Okay, so if you're the person walking around in the affordable housing room, you heard some feedback. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, political learning is that we need to be opportunists. interests in what we do. I think that the state education task force is really seizing on this opportunity. And I think as we do our work, as we look towards bringing justice into this real world that we live in, as we think about how much money we're trying to raise, let's be opportunistic. Let's not be afraid to do it. So that's it. Thanks, everybody. That's my evaluation.
All right, and Reverend Carol, if you close out prayer.
Sure. Let us pray. Holy One, in these days, may we live in a space of hope and joy and even delight. Those of us committed to the work of social justice can be a grim lot. Save us from judgmentalism, from despair, from hopelessness, from the kind of anger that divides rather than moves us forward. Instead, may we trust in you and know, even in dark times, that you are near and your Spirit is working in us and through us. And your Spirit is working in others, even perhaps those we're ready to give up on. Help us remember you walk with all of us, closer than breath. May we lean into that still, quiet place within and trust that our work matters to you and to our city. So give us strength and hope, and most of all, give us joy. Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank you, Martha.
Good night, all.
Thank you.
Really good to see everyone.
Good night.
See you, Benny.